The final home game of the regular season and game 2 of 3 straight against the Indiana Fever as the Minnesota Lynx look to make a late push up the standings. Welcome inside Target Center in downtown Minneapolis. Sloan Martin, Leah B. Olson along with you today. The Lynx entering within a half game of third place Seattle and 2 games of Vegas, owning a tiebreaker against the Aces as well. The Minnesota Lynx took care of business against the 6-22 Fever, winning 89-72 on Friday. Leah, you remember at one point it was tied at 41 early in the third quarter. The Lynx went on a 21-4 run and in complete control from there.
Yeah, they did exactly what they had to do on Friday night. Is they got the W against Indiana, and they really came alive in that third quarter where they scored 30 points. And so that was really critical. 4 Lynx players in double figures, a team win for Minnesota. We saw that they had 26 assists in that game, and I thought that was a really good sign for Minnesota, sharing the basketball, getting other players involved. So an important win against Indiana. Now they need to do it again.
Well, the Lynx firmly in control, especially in that second half. But it was interesting, Leah, to hear head coach Cheryl Reeves say she still wasn't pleased with 40 points in the paint allowed, but also the open shot opportunities that simply didn't fall. For example, Kelsey Mitchell going 1 for 9 from three-point range. It's hard for that performance to be repeated.
Yes, I agree with that. And the 40 points in the paint was impressive by Indiana, and that's what they do. And Coach Reeve mentioned that as well. She said when a team lives in the paint, what we have to do is work to keep them out. And so we'll see how the defense changes in this second game against Indiana, but she would like the team to lock down a little bit and protect the paint.
All the Lynx have lost 12 of their last 13 games, including 8 straight here at Target Center. Only Connecticut has won more games over the last 17 games, one of the hottest teams in the WNBA. Currently in 4th place in the standings, looking to continue rolling against the Fever. We're going to have starters and tip coming up here from Target Center in downtown Minneapolis. Played at Indiana. Just 3 games left in the regular season. Sloan Martin, Leah B. Olson along with you. And let's start off talking about Aerial Powers. 3 straight 20-point games for the Lynx. She had her first start since May 20th. The last game has been a fantastic point of energy.
Yeah, I think it's been great. The timing is perfect for the Minnesota Lynx to have Aerial Powers healthy. They've moved her into the starting lineup after they had her sit on the bench, kind of earn that spot. Being able to score 20 points consecutively, she brings a lot of energy. And as I said before, the timing couldn't be any better for Minnesota as they're preparing for their run into the playoffs.
She is in the starting lineup again. The last 5 games, over 16 points per game, shooting 50% from the field. It seems like the team really learning to play with her on the floor. Starters for the Indiana Fever, they're without one of their best defensive players, and Jessica Breland. She suffered a left thumb injury in the last game, and Indiana only has 8 active players. They have one shorthanded, again happening earlier this season against Dallas, but clearly not ideal.
Not ideal at all. This will be a difficult situation for Indiana, but what they do bring and the players that we will see on the court are all incredibly athletic, talented players, players that know how to get to the paint, that know how to attack the basket. This is a team, an Indiana team, that has to be physical and aggressive with this Minnesota Lynx team if they're going to be able to score with them back and forth.
Well, head coach of the Fever, Marianne Stanley, a women's basketball legend, said pregame she wanted to be their screening. She wanted to see their screening cleaned up. That's really their bread and butter, and having either McCowan score in the paint or those guards slash to the basket. She also, I thought this was interesting, Leah, said she thought the team fell short of the intensity and physicality of the Minnesota Lynx. So I would think if there were rankings in those categories, the Lynx would right there be at the top of the list. Do you think the Fever, having that experience on Friday, can pick things up for an entire 40 minutes?
I think so. I think that's what's exciting about playing the Lynx or any team 3 times in a row, is you just got to play them. You understand exactly what they're doing. Each team is going to change things up a little bit, but not a ton. And so those mistakes can be, they can be fixed quickly. But I do think it's really going to come down to because Indiana's shorthanded, they have to bring energy and physicality.
Well, we'll be continuing to watch the matchup between Sylvia Fowles and Tierra McCowan too. Sil was magnificent on Friday. Only played 20 minutes, which is a huge win this late in the season for the Minnesota Lynx. 13 points on 6 for 8 shooting, 7 rebounds, 4 steals, 5 blocks, again in just 20 minutes of action.
Yeah, really efficient basketball by Sylvia Fowles. I love the steals, I love the blocks, and what I think was important for Minnesota is they realized they didn't have to rely on Sil. She actually was able to go to the bench and take a significant break. We haven't seen a lot of that this season. That's important leading into the playoffs as well.
The team and staff members of the Lynx pregame wearing shirts promoting Sylvia Fowles as Defensive Player of the Year. A big argument for her to get her 4th Defensive Player of the Year of her entire career. And the person who has the most is also in the building with Tamika Catchings, who has 5 in her career. So defensive royalty in the building tonight.
Always exciting to see Tamika Catchings in the building. One of my all-time favorite players outside of Lynx basketball. She's just an incredible human being and an incredible player back in the day, and so it's cool to see her here at Target Center.
It is remarkable to be researching the Fever, and her name is just the top of everything.
Yes.
Literally
everywhere.
Minnesota Lynx starting out with the basketball. Good look inside deep for Fee, who uses all of that pivot foot, staying right here and into the hands of Fowles. Collier outside for 3, rims out, tapped out by Sil, and the 3rd chance on this possession.
Minnesota definitely looking to go inside early, a little bit forced there, so they turn the ball over.
Tierra McCowan had the positioning there, the length to deflect that, and the Fever have it. They were toe-in-toe in the first half. In the last game, tied at 41 at about the 8:40 mark of the 3rd quarter. Lynx on the fast break, and Fowles, her hook shot doesn't fall.
Yeah, she's trying to make some moves down low against McCowan, and that's the one thing about going up against McCowan is, Sylvia kind of faded away a little bit because she's 6'7".
There's already block number 1 for Sil, who had 5 in the first matchup of the season between these two teams Friday. And Powers going back to work again from the free throw line, which we saw over and over Friday.
Yes, it's her sweet spot. That's where she likes to shoot the ball. Let's see if Indiana tries to take that away from her, because she will do that over and over until it's taken away.
And it was there often. I think I made the joke that it felt like Groundhog's Day, and I had that moment yet again on that shot. Here's Vivian's. Again, the Fever down to just 8 active players, with Breland injuring her thumb last game, and they force a shot clock violation.
Coach Reeve will be very pleased about that. She talked a lot today in shoot-around about defending without fouling, and that is really critical and key against a team like Indiana that's aggressively attacking the basket.
Well, Indiana is 3rd in the WNBA in free throw attempts per game at more than 17. They had just 11 on Friday. Here they pick up the turnover. Tiffany Mitchell dangerous in the open court. She's just going to power her way, and Ariel Powers will stop that.
Yeah, and she was hoping to get to the free throw line right there as well.
Collier, a little hesitation, still has her dribble. Fouls. And a rebound to Tiffany Mitchell. Minnesota up 2-0. Kelsey Mitchell off the mark. And a jump ball upcoming between Tiffany Mitchell and Crystal Dangerfield.
Yeah, nice job by Tiffany Mitchell to tie that one up.
I'm interested in seeing as well, Leah, how the 10th leading scorer in the WNBA and Kelsey Mitchell responds this game. She had a very tough outing. 11 points, so technically a double-figure game, but 4 for 15 overall, 1 for 9 from beyond the arc.
Yeah, and you can see here in this one early, she's looking for her shot. She's had some good looks at the basket. She's gone 0-3 in this one early.
Won by Minnesota. Crystal Dangerfield in the circle, keeping it with her team. Pick and roll, Fouls will finish with McCowan on her shoulder.
And that's the way Minnesota's going to want to play in this one. They're looking to set Sil up early in their offense.
Lindsay Allen trying to be physical with Crystal Dangerfield on her. Vivian's wide open look for three. That's exactly what Reeve was referring to.
Yeah, and that's a shot that Coach Reeve won't be happy about. She was wide open. We saw that in the game on Friday night, and those are shots she can hit and did.
Powers all the way to the rack. That jab fake was perfect. No help defense.
Good-looking basketball there by Powers. I feel like every game she plays in, she's getting better and better.
High pick and roll. Tiffany Mitchell falling away toward the baseline, and that will rattle through.
Yeah, that's an important shot. It's really important for Indiana to get rolling here in their offense. This is not a game where you can have long periods of time without scoring.
Up and under for Collier. She stretches it out for two.
Yeah, Collier has that way around the basket where she can just lean in, and her finesse allows her to get those great shots.
Mitchell loses it. 13 on the shot clock, down low into Allen. Good closeout by Kayla McBride, forcing a turnover.
Yeah, again, another good defensive stop by Minnesota. You can see that they've brought some energy and a little bit of focus here on how they want to defend this team.
It has been really remarkable, and Lynx fans have to be so proud of how this team has played in the absence of Laisha Clarendon. She's not, she's in street clothes. She still has a boot on her foot. It's possible she could be back for the playoffs. We don't think this is going to be ending her season, but the Lynx have still looked very strong in her absence, even though she kind of turned things around, flipped a switch for this team.
Yeah, she really did. And Laisha's been a great fit for Minnesota. Really difficult to have Laisha sitting on the bench, but Minnesota reacting, playing well without her.
There's Powers going inside to Collier. One-on-one, she's just going to spin the opposite direction, and an offensive foul. We tried to clear a little bit of space there, but
yeah, that maybe they're not going to allow this game to be as physical. A little bully ball right there by Nafisa Collier. Maybe just leans a little bit too much with her shoulder there.
I'm just impartial to a little bit of bully ball.
Yeah, that's how you like to play, Sloan.
I like to see. I know that's why it's fun to watch this team for sure.
Absolutely.
Rebound to McBride and out to Powers on the fast break. Indiana getting back in time. Powers lobbing it over to Fouls. She is stuck by McCowan, who made that difficult, but she draws a whistle.
Conversation there with Powers and Fouls as they're trying to figure out the best way to get that ball inside to Sill so she doesn't just have to face Cowens once she turns around, and she has to make a second move to get the shot.
Do you think, and this was something that Coach Reeve said pregame, that there weren't a lot of set plays for Sill in that last game, that it just kind of happened that way?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you think that that needs to be changing in this game from what you're seeing so far?
Yeah, I always like the thought of getting Sill involved in the game early, and if that means getting set plays, if she's not just getting offensive boards in her own offense, I just think the offense flows better that way.
We've seen her, the catches that Sill's had so far are either outside the paint or in a position where she does have to have that bully ball mentality against McCowan, and that's a tough ask, even for Sill. There's Kelsey Mitchell with it, midway through the shot clock. Good denial defense from Kayla McBride on Vivian's, and they'll switch on that screen, something Marianne Stanley thought her Fever players didn't do a good enough job of taking advantage of as Allen goes glass. Midway through the first quarter, the final regular season game of the season here at Target Center. This team will be back as Crystal Dangerfield lines up a three. Rebound to McCowan, who had almost a double-double on Friday, 8 points, 9 rebounds. Kelsey Mitchell finds herself all by herself right at the rim.
Yeah, wide open lane. Kelsey Mitchell does a great job reading the defense, seeing that she could get to the basket with no defense at all.
Both Kelsey and Tiffany Mitchell are so quick, but certainly even when the seam is smaller than that, not something the Lynx want to see. Timeout called on the floor, looking a little reminiscent of Friday, just a 1-point game so far. A 1-point game more than midway through the first quarter. 8 of Minnesota's 10 points coming in the paint, and that's exactly what they want to establish.
Yeah, I like when Minnesota starts inside out. I think that's how their offense flows best. I thought Friday night they did a great job of that. Coach Reeve was pleased with that as well. It wasn't forced. Sometimes when they're trying to get the ball inside to Sill or Fee, they force it in.
Rachel Bannum entering the game for the Lynx. Same starters out there for the Indiana Fever. 5 on the shot clock for Powers near that free throw line again, and she draws the foul.
Powers does a nice job of looking for her shot when you can see she's going up for her shot. Nafisa Collier is calling for the ball. It creates issues on the defensive end because both of those players need to be guarded tightly.
Powers, one of the top 5 free throw shooters in the WNBA, and I thought this was interesting too, Leah. This is from yesterday's pregame with head coach Cheryl Reeve talking about how everyone has to adjust to Ariel on the floor a little bit, that it requires a little more patience. A lot of times when she's got the ball might stop when it gets to her. So I think that maybe that familiarity has led to this and having 3 straight 20-point games.
Yeah, I think so too. It's just changed it a little bit because the flow of the game is different when she is in it. But you want her in the game with her ability to score. She's one of the only players on the Lynx who really creates her own offense.
That's exactly the comparison that Reeve made. She said, I'm not saying she's Maya Moore because, of course, no one is, but it was a similar type of game and how they approach having the ball on offense. Tiffany Mitchell guarded tightly by McBride. 10 to go for the Fever offense. Knocked away by Powers, and even a play like that gets her and her teammates fired up.
Yeah, it's important, her energy that she brings, and that's just natural for her, and she gets everyone going. She's going to go around, high five. She moves well without the basketball.
And especially when you think about when she came back from her injury. She was struggling to score, struggling to shoot, struggling to find that shot again. She injured her thumb, and seeing deflections like that, that's why you want her on the floor, as Vivian's looking for her second 3, not there, chased down by Powers. Hard screen by Sill on Kelsey Mitchell. Opens up the lane for Powers, and she is fired up.
And Minnesota does a nice job getting out quickly in their early offense. Those are easy buckets.
I would not want to be the opponent when Powers flexes to the fans. Kelsey Mitchell driving and kicking, gets it back. As Collier on her, Allen will line up a 3 again off back iron, and Indiana cooling down.
Yeah, Indiana needing to be able to hit from the perimeter in this game. They did a great job. Nafisa Collier in the paint that time. Indiana did a nice job in the paint in the first game against Minnesota, not as well from the perimeter.
And McCowan was able to affect that shot from behind, but then it just kind of paused. Collier continuing to go after it. Under 3 to go in the first quarter. Vivian's pump fake drive, second block by Sylvia Fowles right to a teammate. It's a 3-on-2 for the Lynx. Bannum, rebound to Tiffany Mitchell.
See if Indiana can get some early offense. They've been working hard on the offensive end for their shots.
Deep post inside to McCowan, and that will draw a whistle.
I think the key with getting the ball inside to McCowan is you have to get it to her right where she wants it. She's pulled out a little bit too far, and I think that's a difficult shot for her. The defense isn't allowing her in the paint.
Ariel Powers taking a seat. Coming in, Bridget Carlton and Natalie Achanwa. Lindsay Allen going to the bench as well. And Aaliyah Wilson stepping in for the Fever. And Jantel Lavender as well. Tiffany Mitchell, the inbounder. Achanwa trying to deny, and both Fever players run into each other and out of bounds.
The look that they had, they both turned at each other. That's frustrating for a team that's had a long, difficult season, a lot of injuries. To have something like that happen sometimes is just frustrating.
Bannum with it now, has Wilson on her. McBride doubled off that pick and roll. Carleton finding a Chanwa, and she will be denied. There was Wilson, the rookie, into Lavender in the post. She has to regain her dribble. Cross-court pass, Kelsey Mitchell, and she will drain a 3. She's got 5 points.
And that's a great pass by Gentel Lavender. Good look, and you have to have strong power to move that pass across the court.
Fever not able to capitalize off of that turnover. And Collier with it, getting it up ahead to Bridget Carleton. Backdoor cut, Kayla McBride. Beautiful pass by the post.
Love to see it. Love the communication, especially with this second unit on the court right now. With a few of the players who are on the second unit, you don't always see this lineup. They're learning to play together. I think it's really important for the Lynx.
And they play such different styles too, from that starting unit to the reserves. And Kelsey Mitchell, hopefully she's okay, just fixing her shoe, but she is yet to get up. It's another look at that play, her tumbling to the ground. It's going to be a jump ball with Lavender and a Chanwa. And I like that play too, Leah, because that's what was highly expected of Natalie when she signed as a free agent, was passing exactly like that, where
yes.
she is so unselfish.
Absolutely, that's her game. When you look at a box, you're not going to always see her numbers show up everywhere, but what she does really well is she's going to get some rebounds for you, and she distributes the ball really well. Great court sense.
Another jump ball won by the Lynx. Carleton was fouled, and she'll be shooting too. Might have even taken that to the face.
Let's see here, Carleton goes up.
Oh no, just maybe
not.
her arm.
Yep.
I was a little startled by the jerk. So she'll go to the line to shoot to Carleton. You think the Lynx coaching staff feeling like this is her role. She had started the last couple of games for Minnesota, came off the bench for Indiana after starting the previous 3 of them. But this is when you see her at her most productive.
Yeah, I really like this role for her, and she's such a great basketball player, has a great basketball IQ, and she comes in, she can hit the three-point shot, but one thing Coach Reeves said today that she loves that she does is her ability to get the ball into Sill as well. Yes. So she's just a versatile player.
That is high praise
that is.
On this team.
Yes, I agree.
And hopefully Tiffany Mitchell's contact is okay.
I know, I hate anything digging in someone's eyes, never.
I'm a little curious why someone else's fingers look to be in her eye, but if that's what works, as long as she's out there for the Fever.
Exactly.
Foul is going to be called as Banham was guarding Lindsay Allen with the ball in her hands. Minnesota trying to extend this lead to double figures. Here's another look at that foul. Allen has been a particular spark for the Fever toward the top in the WNBA third in assist to turnover ratio, and that's going to go against the Fever.
Now, this is a difficult first quarter for Indiana. Only 12 points on the board at this point, and
no, it was indeed a turnover, actually.
Yeah. So. Exactly. So I think Indiana just feeling a little deflated right now in this first quarter of this game.
Here is Banham again. That free throw line area jump shot continues to be wide open. We've seen it from Powers, right there from Banham, and that's going to be automatic nearly from these players. And a traveling violation, back-to-back turnovers for the Fever, and it's a 10-point deficit. Yeah,
they're just kind of looking. Indiana just needs to get out of this quarter, regroup, and come out with a little bit more energy.
Banham loses it going behind the back, gets it back, and another jump ball coming up. I think if you're the Lynx, this is quite a positive start to this game, because you maybe think, all right, Indiana had that game against us. Let's see what they bring next time, feeling like they want to close the gap in that score, and so far Indiana is not really threatened.
Yeah, and the one thing about Minnesota is they have a lot of goals right now that they're trying to accomplish, and so they're doing it during this game, and so they have they want to win this game for a lot of different reasons.
It's a violation, Emma Cannon.
One of the reasons is they're trying to move up in the standings. It's a big one. It's the biggest reason.
Yes.
But also they're getting comfortable with different players on the court, and as Powers and Achanwa, these players who hadn't played throughout the regular season are getting a lot of minutes right now. The team's getting situated.
McBride through some contact, difficult shot, rebound to Vivians. Reeve said she was going to be focusing the next 2 weeks on getting the ball into Sylvia Fowles as Vivians attacks and will finish. But there still are things to work on this late in the season.
I get the sense with Coach Reeve, there's always something you could be better at.
You don't win 4 championships by
That's
just
right.
being carefree.
That's right.
Right at the buzzer, Nafisa Collier making something out of nothing on that possession, and boy, that was a strong first quarter for Minnesota.
Yeah, really, really nice first quarter. Nice shot by Nafisa Collier. I think it even surprised her. A nice smile on her face. But yes, a good showing for Minnesota, 24-14 in the first quarter of this one. They're coming out strong.
Well, it took until the second half for the Minnesota Lynx to take control, but already a 10-point lead in the first quarter. This shot by Nafisa Collier clearly counting before the end of the first quarter, and that, I think, describes how the first quarter went, just smoothly and shots falling.
Yeah, Minnesota looking good, holding Indiana to shooting 37.5% from the field. That's the kind of defense that they were playing before the Vegas loss. Those 4 games that they were holding teams to 40% and lower. So that's something that the Lynx have been working on the defensive end of the court.
And it's incredible to think that now that you bring that up, that the only losses the Lynx have had since mid-June have been Connecticut and Las Vegas.
Yes.
Makes me excited for the playoffs, that's for sure.
They're playing good basketball right now, and right at the right time.
Offensive foul against Emma Cannon, and again, a tough situation for Indiana where they just have a break. You have your first possession, and it ends in a turnover. They have 6.
They're looking for a spark, Indiana. Usually that comes on the defensive end of the court.
Uncharacteristic miss from Collier, finds Achanwa. And again, that free throw line area, just a broken record for me today.
Yeah, and that's a shot that every player on the court right now can hit. So if you're not going to guard it, it's going to be open the whole night.
Another steal. It's a 3-on-1. Dangerfield, a beautiful pass to Collier, and she will draw the whistle.
I like it. I like the fact that Dangerfield gave that shot up. We know she could make that layup because that's what she kind of is known for, but she does the nice looking shot, gets it down to Nafisa, and gets her to the free throw line.
Collier so far with 6 points, 3 for 7 from the floor, 4 rebounds, trying to come out after Friday's game, which was a little bit off for her. 8 points, 3 for 9 from the floor.
Yeah, that's why I thought it was important for the Lynx to get that win when you didn't see the big numbers from Nafisa or really Sylvia. I mean, Sylvia did a lot in that game, but she didn't have those big scoring numbers.
Minnesota extending the lead to 14. Here is Lavender with it. Collier guarding her. And again, that switch has been working very well for Minnesota on Friday and tonight. Lob inside to Lavender, and she was looking for the foul.
Yeah, she's frustrated by that one, and she may have reason to be.
Veteran player, former 2016 6th player of the year in Achanwa. A repeat of her last basket.
Yeah, I love it. Really good to see Achanwa hitting that shot, getting that confidence in these games. Really important.
Well, she had a season high against her former team on Friday with 10 points. Short corner shot for Lavender. She was very strong on Friday, had 15 points because of mid-range shots like that.
Exactly. She has that ability, and you expect to see that at some point in this game that she will come alive.
Dangerfield dropping it inside to Achanwa, but picked up by McCowan.
Yeah, she kind of got hung up there on when she was rolling to the basket.
It's interesting to watch Crystal because of how she has to adapt as a point guard when she's playing with the starters. She's been a starter for the last handful of games versus when she is playing with the reserves and trying to bring together how differently they play. Allen has 2 on the shot clock, flips it up, and a rebound to Powers. Chanwa thought about it.
Yeah, didn't catch it cleanly and then can't get rid of it.
Vivians blocked by Powers. She stops her one-on-one. Tremendous defense by Powers.
Yeah, allows the rest of the team to get back, but Mitchell says it doesn't matter. She's got a nice looking shot.
I enjoy watching any WNBA player warm up. It's something that I truly treasure about being able to get here early as Nafisa Collier goes back door for the easy 2.
That's something I treasure right there.
Exactly right. How she is able to score right at the rim at such a high clip. Minnesota firmly in control, pulling the lead out to 32-19. Minnesota trying to pick up those wins to close out the season. Last time in Target Center at the regular season. All the Minnesota Lynx came out firing. They have continued to play strong both offensively and defensively, as you see from Aerial Powers, but Kelsey Mitchell hit a 3 right after that. So they have the ability to score. They have a top 10 scorer on their roster with Kelsey Mitchell, and you do not want her to get hot.
Yeah, and maybe Kelsey Mitchell is that player right now that can kind of get Indiana moving and excited and, you know, kind of the catalyst to get them rolling in this one.
Shepard trying to get it inside to Sylvia Fowles, and that was just outside of her reach.
Yeah, just a bit. Shepard's usually pretty good at dumping the pass in the high-low.
But something the Lynx are always looking for is getting the ball to Sylvia Fowles in the most advantageous position.
If she shoots,
not turning it over.
Yeah, I mean, Sylvia shoots a very high percentage, and I think the best in the W. So you want to get her the ball as much as possible.
And already, head coach Cheryl Reeve must not have liked what she saw on that possession. Tiara McCowan getting the very quick bucket, and now it's within single digits.
Yeah, and you know, I think Coach Reeve said it well before the game that this is going to be a good game. These are great players on the court. Let's see what happens.
An abrupt timeout by the Minnesota Lynx to sort things out. Just about 2 minutes ago, they were up against the Fever by 16 points, now whittled down to 9.
Indiana's shooting percentage up to 43.5% as well.
Couple quick baskets from Kelsey Mitchell, Tiara McCowan right at the rim, and that provoked her to call a timeout. Shepard in some trouble against McCowan. There's 4 seconds left for Powers, who will pull up over McCowan and drain it.
Wow. That's a big shot by Powers, and that's one that kind of knocks the breath out of Indiana when you work so hard on the defensive end.
She is the 3rd player up to 10 points. She has 3 straight games under her belt of 20-plus points. The only player to reel off at least that many, Maya Moore, in 2018. We'll see if she can make number 4 tonight. Vivians, long 3. She has got it as Indiana is coming right back.
Yeah, right back at you.
They were making mistake after mistake and turning it over, but now things are clicking. Powers weaving her way through the paint, has McCowan on her back, and Fowles will finish right at the rim.
Always makes you feel good knowing Sylvia Fowles on the court. She can clean it all up for you.
Still a strong take by Powers to get that off cleanly, too. There's Allen. Shepard extending that defense against Vivians. And a foul away from the ball, McCowan, as she was guarding Sill.
That's not an easy matchup for McCowan. It's a big body.
And another, you'll have to tell me what you saw, Leah, but a technical foul assessed to Kayla McBride.
Oh, I missed that.
And that's where that shot came from. And staying here, Indiana basketball, I missed what may have...
Yeah, we didn't have that vision of the court.
Well, Tiffany Mitchell, a fantastic free throw shooter. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Allen, difficult, and she gets it at the free throw line.
That's another player that can heat up quickly. Indiana has good shooters on the court right now.
In this quarter, once a 16-point lead, being extended back out again to 10.
Yeah, and Powers is going to do what she did in Friday night's game, is she's going to keep the Lynx rolling and keep the energy going and keep the offense flowing.
Game high score is Ariel Powers, 5 for 6 from the field. She's got 13. Good denial defense by Collier, trying to catch up against Vivians. That will fall out. Rebound to fouls.
See if they can get the ball down court early. Get some quick, easy offense for Minnesota.
Powers looking inside to Sill. And a foul on Allen. She tripped up Collier moving through those screens.
Yeah, holding on a little bit. As Collier's trying to slip through there one way just to kind of grab the jersey.
Dangerfield with 10 ticks left. Gets the handoff, pulling up over McCowan, and she's got it. Dangerfield is able to score her first basket.
I like that handoff from Sylvia Fowles, the 5 to the 1. It's a difficult one to defend.
Kelsey Mitchell, tight defense against Collier, and that is stolen. That was intended for McCowan. I mean, there certainly are players you can just lob it up anywhere for, but not against this Lynx team.
Nope.
Sill establishing herself in the post, going to work against McCowan, and she's got it.
You said it right, going to work. It is a lot of work down there against McCowan's, and Sylvia is ready for it.
I just am so excited when I see that one-on-one matchup, and it's kind of the veteran, the all-time great going up against the next generation of post players, the traditional 5 that we want to see hold on in this league.
I know it. I know there's not a ton of them, but it's fun to see them when they're there.
Powers keeping that pivot foot against Allen. It's a 12-point lead for the Lynx. Got whittled down to single digits. Lynx keeping it around the perimeter, and McBride is going to throw it up, and she will get the 3. It's just offense running smoothly.
Yeah,
for the
everything
Lynx.
looked good for Minnesota right there. All 5 perimeter players sitting on the 3-point line, and you want that ball in the hand of Kayla McBride.
That is her first 3. Minnesota 2 for 4 as a team. Indiana 4 for 7. Vivians handing it off to McCowan, and a 3-point play opportunity for Indiana.
Vivians is having a nice little game she's put together here, and nice job getting the ball to her teammate, who doesn't have to do much to get herself to the free throw line.
That was good distribution, and you can see Vivians, she's still a young player, but when they're missing missing Breland, who injured her thumb in the last game, you look at someone like Vivians, who because of her height can have that versatility, playing a couple different positions too. 2 minutes to go before halftime. Here is Collier. Powers being patient, and Indiana drawing the offensive foul.
Yep, I saw that one coming. Sylvia was,
on Sylvia Fowles.
Yep. She was looking right at Powers the whole time, so I didn't think she saw the defense coming.
You're right, that cannon was well established at that point. Outside the restricted area, easy call. Minnesota, by the way, up to shooting 62%. The Fever still at 50%. A little too high for the Lynx's liking, as Mitchell forced out of the paint. 5 to go on the shot clock for Tiffany Mitchell, and she will get that in the paint.
Yeah, you're really seeing Indiana heating up in this one. All their scorers on that court. They have some talented players on this team. They are down to 8 players right now.
Collier will line it up for 3 off back iron, and snaring that rebound is Kelsey Mitchell. And she's going to put it up, and it just rims out. That would have been a pretty big shot to again get this into single figures, but staying Indiana basketball with about a minute left. There's McCowan going for that rebound. Kelsey. Quick swing to Tiffany Mitchell on the opposite side. Had to hold herself in the air. Rebound to Dangerfield. The trailer and Powers has the time, and it goes out of bounds.
Yeah, sometimes you have a little too much time. She thought about that one rather than just releasing it.
Where you're kind of slow motion stepping into the shot like, yes, this is what I need, and you know,
exactly.
too easy sometimes.
Too easy.
Powers still the leading scorer in this game with 13 points. 1 for 2 from the three-point line. Kelsey Mitchell clears some space for herself. Rebound to Cannon. Kelsey today trying to rebound from that 4 basket performance. She's 4 for 10 today. And Minnesota's going to call a timeout with 23.7 seconds left.
It tells you Coach Reeve is concerned about what she is seeing on the court at this point in the game, which is 23.7 seconds left in this one.
Is there something you think Minnesota is doing differently than in the beginning part of this game that's of concern?
You know what? I feel like in games the momentum switches and changes, and I just think Indiana started to get their momentum and their shooters started hitting shots. They had some good shots in the first part of the game that did not go down.
And on Friday as well.
Exactly. So this is a team that can score the ball. They just have not had great luck here at Target Center. When they start hitting, as you can see, they become very dangerous.
Well, they've been seeing Kelsey Mitchell starting to heat up, Victoria Vivians finding opportunities for Tierra McCowan, who has 5 points.
Yeah, that's a player I feel like, Sloan, that if they can get McCowan's just some easy baskets, just getting her the ball right where she needs it, and I know that's difficult, in particular when Sylvia Fowles is in the game, but just if she can get herself to the free throw line, those are points that you need.
Both teams with 22 points apiece in this second quarter. Minnesota is led by as many as 16, and I think that's also where this timeout comes from, Leah, where you are trying to add to this cushion to not have it eaten into again and into single figures heading into the locker room. Possession here for the Lynx. Shot clock is off. McBride, a great look, and a rebound to Kelsey Mitchell. Plenty of time for the Fever to try and make this a single-figure game.
It's a good pass by Mitchell, trying to get early offense.
Allen will just leave that a little too far right. The opportunity was there. It still feels like it's in reach for the Fever with a better second quarter, but Minnesota, we know what happened last time in the second half.
Yes, exactly, but this is an Indiana team right now that's shooting the ball very well, and I feel like those last few minutes of the last 4 or 5 minutes of the second half went really well for Indiana.
We will have more coming up. We'll talk about this first half, an interview with Gerson Rosas at the Timberwolves as well. It's a 10-point game at the half here at Target Center. Sloan Martin, Leah B. Olson along with you. The last home game here at Target Center of the regular season. The Lynx, of course, have clinched their 11th straight playoff berth, but these games, including this 3-game set against the Indiana Fever, could provide an opportunity for them to move up in the standings. The Lynx led by as many as 16 points in that first half. The Fever got within 7 with heated up shooting from Kelsey Mitchell and getting inside to Tierra McCowan. Joining us is Lynx assistant coach Plannette Pearson. And coach, what did you think about the offense and Aerial Powers, how that's flowing and shooting 56% from the field?
Well, Ariel's been really showing out on the offensive end and just really playing great and poised, and our teammates have been setting great screens for her and just getting her great opportunities, and she's been knocking them down, which is a plus for us.
Lynette, we have seen some great defensive stops by your squad tonight, but we also see 4 for 8 shooting from the three-point line for Indiana. What needs to change on the defense and the perimeter defense?
Well, our big focus is just protecting the paint, so we just have to understand that we're over-helping a little bit, giving Indiana some open threes, and we just have to figure out a way to stay not over-help, but be close enough that we can get back to shooters.
All right, good luck in the second half. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
That's Lynx assistant coach Plannette Pearson. And what she said was what we heard at shoot-around again today. The over-helping and then the open opportunities on the perimeter for the Indiana Fever.
Yeah, and sometimes that is when you don't just act quickly and you're thinking and then you're over-helping and everyone has to move, and so Coach Reeve, we heard her say, just play. It's not, just have to react sometimes and don't overthink it. But I think with that perimeter D, you really have to get there and get there quickly, hands in the face, without fouling.
The Lynx are a team that I think has proven itself to be a very solid team defensively, both collectively and individually too. Is that something that, if you're the coaching staff, you tell them?
Yeah, I think so. I think we've seen some great defense from this team, and I think we're seeing it come each and every game get better. But yes, this is a good team. They come together very well as a team, but then you have someone like Sylvia Fowles, who, well, I personally think is a Defensive Player of the Year, and she does so many things on the defensive end.
Well, it seems like Sylvia Fowles is going to be in that conversation for Defensive Player of the Year. I can also think of Brittany Griner, Jonquel Jones being candidates for that as well. Candace Parker winning it last year, so I think a tight competition.
Yes.
But certainly
easy.
In this building, there's a great argument to be made for Sylvia Fowles getting her fourth. Look inside out of the hands of Jantel Lavender.
Yeah, it's a nice look. Down low, just can't hold on to it.
And she will foul Nafisa Collier. We've seen this a couple times from Indiana, and the Lynx have taken advantage of it where they make mistakes, especially coming after a timeout or that quarter break. Lob inside to Sill, just that easy high-low offense.
And that's how Minnesota wants to start this second half off, by going inside, outside, getting that ball inside to Sill.
Broken up by Kayla McBride, who hits the deck. And it will be Minnesota basketball. She was hustling hard on that play. Or actually, it's been reversed.
Okay, so McBride was having a big reaction for a good reason, yes.
All right, Indiana with it. Victoria Vivians, the inbounder. She's second on the team with 8 points, 3 for 7 shooting, but 2 for 3 from beyond the arc. Here is Kelsey Mitchell draining another one. That is her third in 4 tries.
Yeah, 5 of 9 from the three-point line for Indiana.
And a foul against Kelsey Mitchell, which she does not like because she was guarding Dangerfield with the ball.
Yeah, that's not a foul that Kelsey Mitchell needs to pick up right there.
And that was her third. Oh, excuse me, that's her second, by the way. She has 3 assists. Dangerfield pulling up and has that blocked by McCowan along the perimeter. It looks like she's calling for a sub. Perhaps she came up a little bit hobbled. Here's a short corner shot by Jantel Lavender. She's automatic from there. It's back to a 7-point game. The closest Indiana has been since early on. Got within 7 in the first quarter. Here is Collier for 3, and she'll get that back up to double figures.
Yeah, it's good to see Collier hit from out there from the three-point line.
Kelsey Mitchell. Ooh, nice crossover. Lavender was looking inside. Into McCowan, and when the help defender is Crystal Dangerfield, she's going to be able to finish.
That's a great read, and that's something I think Indiana can take advantage of more often.
Aerial Powers will travel. Rachel Banham checking in as Minnesota trying to find a flow. I just saw Nafisa Collier clapping to try and get her team together. And hopefully Crystal Dangerfield is okay. She's being seen by head athletic trainer Chuck Barta on the sidelines. Now Allen's got it. Cowan, they switch. Allen will kiss it off glass.
Again, Indiana staying with their hot shooting. 51.4% now.
Back door for McBride, and she gets the layup. She's got 7 now on 3 for 5 shooting.
Yeah, McBride starting to warm up in this one.
Minnesota spreading the ball. And Vivian's creating for Indiana, another easy 2.
Yeah, and they're sharing the ball really well, the Indiana Fever, and moving, good ball movement, sharing the ball and getting the open shot that they want.
4 assists for Vivians, and McCowan is up to 9 points. Powers has McCowan on her, but now she's double teamed in a terrible part of the floor. Rightly throws it off.
Yeah, good job by Indiana once they realized Powers had lost her dribble. The defense came flying in and locked her down.
So Crystal Dangerfield, good thing, quickly back into the game. Banham taking a seat for Minnesota. And Powers will turn it over. Up to 10 turnovers for Minnesota, both teams with 10 apiece.
It just slipped right out of her hand. She's saying it was hit out of her hand.
Allen bringing it up against Dangerfield, trying to attack, and she'll pull up and drain it. Lindsay Allen up to 8 points.
Beavers slowly working their way right in this one.
But Minnesota needs more plays like that. Beautiful pass from Powers cross court to Sylvia Fowles. Lavender keeping it in bounds, will stay with the Fever. The Ohio State legends making sure they're on the same page. Lavender. Kelsey Mitchell finds that seam, trying to dump it off to McCowan. It's advantage Minnesota. And I think a good foul there away from the basket.
McCowan went down kind of hard on that one.
She is up. Allen went to check on her, and here's that look at the foul by Allen on Dangerfield. Emma Cannon checking in for the Fever. She's going to replace McCowan. Here's Dangerfield finding Collier, who's by herself at the three-point line, cannot drain it. B today, 5 for 11, 1 for 4 from long range. Cannon has McBride on her. 5 to go for the Fever. Lob isn't there, so Kelsey Mitchell will attack and gets the roll.
And she does that so well. She can create something out of nothing for Indiana.
That's something that you always look for, and of course she was such a highly heralded college prospect, as Dangerfield will go right at the rim, knocked around, going back to Indiana. But she's someone, when you talk about making that transition to being that solid WNBA player, she's the definition of someone who can create her own shot. Kelsey Mitchell, screen from Cannon. Vivians goes around McBride, dropping it off for Cannon. More playmaking for Vivians.
11 assists here for Indiana, just doing a fantastic job of sharing the basketball. It's really working for them as they're only down by 2 points now.
And a timeout called by the Minnesota Lynx about midway through. All of a sudden, a 2-point game. Minnesota has led by as many as 16 in this one. It was 10 points at half, but Indiana responding. Minnesota gonna have to clean things up in the third quarter. The Fever red hot at Target Center, starting off this third quarter, Leah, 8 for 8 from the field.
Yeah, they haven't missed. I mean, they hit from the three-point line. They hit all their shots. They have come out and they're really focused on communicating with one another on the offensive end of the court. It looks good.
9 seconds for McBride. Dangerfield with it now from Minnesota, which led in the second quarter by 16. The ball is kicked. So Minnesota extending their chance on this possession. You certainly can feel that energy from the Fever, who were down quite early. They were down by double figures in the first quarter. Dangerfield. Here is Carlton. And a rebound to Lavender.
And that's the shot that Carlton, everyone looks for her to take. She has the green light to take that shot every time she gets the ball there.
Well, over the last 14 games, shooting 46% from three-point land. So very much someone you want in with the ball in her hands. As Sylvia Fowles sends that away.
Wow.
Rudely.
She sent a message there as wow, that looked good.
Her third block, by the way, had 5 in 20 minutes on Friday against this same Indiana team. Allen staying here.
Indiana getting some second chance points here.
They've got Collier on Kelsey Mitchell. She's 2 for 2 in this third quarter. Vivians, that just rolls off. And back to Minnesota. Dangerfield, net by Vivians. Almost 3.5 to go in the third quarter. Lavender won't get there and still will finish an easy one inside.
And that is a play that is set up for Sylvia Fowles to get the look down low.
And even that pass exactly to her hands up high, executed to perfection. Allen from the free throw line. She is fouled and will shoot 2.
Allen being aggressive in this one and looking for her shot. Does a nice job. Straight up and down, gets the foul.
This is an Indiana team with 8 healthy players, 8 dressed players this game. Jessica Breland out with a thumb injury. She started the last game, one of their best defensive players. So I think that's what makes it even more interesting, this comeback in the third quarter.
Yeah, they brought a lot of energy. It would have been easy for them to kind of give up, and we're at the end of the season and we're at the bottom of the standings, but they haven't done that at all. They've been physical in this game against Minnesota, and Marianne Stanley talked before the game about she thought the game on Friday night was one of the more physical ones that they had played all season.
And she did think that that experience would aid them in this one. All right, we know how this team wants to play. Collier, little hesitation against McCowan, gets her off balance and knocks it down.
Nice look by Collier.
Hard screen by Cannon. Collier guarding Lindsay Allen now, who's been a big leader of this third quarter comeback. Kelsey Mitchell still looking for an opportunity after that timeout, and there it is.
And that's what Indiana does so well, their ability to get to the paint.
Collier loses it, almost throws it away. Vivian's playing hard against Bantam. It's a 2-on-1, and Allen will not get it. Good effort by McBride, sprinting the floor.
Yep, she needed the extra pass there.
Fouls trying to get that post position against McCowan. And she draws the foul.
And I see McCowan's frustrated with that. She's asking, what did she do? But, you know, it's hard. You're going up against one of the greatest players ever. Sylvia's so strong.
I just think about that befuddling kind of moment it must be for opponents to think, how do I do this?
Right, what do I do? Well, it takes more than one.
That's for sure. Bantam off the handoff will get that one to go, and that is brings her up to 4, 2 for 3 for Rachel Bantam.
Yeah, nice looking shot there by Rachel Bantam, who just got hung up on a screen.
Don't like to see that, as Cannon will score underneath. Cannon, I always like to bring up those players who are undrafted. She came from a D2 school, limited opportunities as McCowan sends that flying, and the stare down.
Yes.
You can tell the confidence has grown with the fever.
And that's important. Collier's coming in there hard. McCowan says, not in here, shakes her head, no.
And on the shot clock for Bantam and Minnesota. And on the deck, jump ball coming up between Bantam and Kelsey Mitchell.
I feel like Indiana's been a little bit more aggressive in the passing lanes, getting their hands out there, deflecting, turn Minnesota over.
They've been hustling.
And that's really what you ask for in a team that's, you know, struggling at the end of the season. Ask them to come with everything, their energy, because like Coach Reeves said before this game, this is a really good team, even though their record doesn't reflect it.
Well, they do have a win against Dallas, another team, well, they're a playoff team, but another time when they were shorthanded, and they've also beaten Connecticut, #1 by far in the standings. Kelsey Mitchell steps into that mid-range J.
Yeah, she looks outstanding in this one.
Tie ball game at Target Center. Minnesota, 16-point lead evaporated. Blocked again with force by McCowan.
McCowan's starting to have fun down there now. Like, she's realizing what she can do, her confidence. She's shaking her head. She's saying, I control this paint. That feels good for the big 6'7".
Bridget Carlton, the inbounder, right in front of her team's bench. 1 minute to go in what has been all Indiana in the third quarter. Dangerfield, little hesitation, and a rebound to McCowan.
Yeah, you're right. She hesitated on that one.
About a 16-second difference between the shot and game clock. Kelsey Mitchell inside. Here McCowan bullying her way to 2.
And this is what we said that they needed to do in the second half, is get McCowan easy baskets down low.
I was also completely wrong on my math in the moment. There is now a 4-second difference, but a foul against Minnesota. That is Emma Cannon again stepping in. Or rather, that's actually a Bridget Carlton who traveled. Thought it was a foul away from the ball, but it looks like that was scored a Bridget Carlton travel. Kelsey Mitchell, that just falls out. Battle for the rebound. Carlton is there, and another jump ball.
Yeah, nice job by Carlton getting on the ground and grabbing that one. Otherwise, Mitchell was going to scoop it up. There's McCowan. Everyone goes to the ground, and Carlton secures it.
It's been a really hard-fought third quarter with plays like that.
It had. It's been a different third quarter than we saw on Friday night, certainly, where the Lynx kind of blew the game open. This time we're seeing the struggles of the third quarter for Minnesota.
And credit to Indiana for responding. Again, it's been a long season. It's been a difficult season. We're getting toward the end. They were down by double figures very early in the first quarter. Down by 16 in the second, and they have battled back. I'm sorry, I'm chuckling at every arm. Different direction.
Exactly, everyone's made the call.
Are we gonna try this one again?
We are.
Victoria Vivian's maybe trying to get in and make a convincing case. Will we see a review? Well, it'll still be Bridget Carlton and Tiffany Mitchell. Excuse me, Kelsey Mitchell going up for this jump. Tiffany Mitchell right behind her next to Crystal Dangerfield. And that's it at the buzzer. The Indiana Fever taking the lead back from the Minnesota Lynx. Once down by 16 points, they stormed back in the third quarter. An exciting fourth should be on our way. Indiana taking back control in this one, trying to upset the Minnesota Lynx. All Indiana in the third quarter. They take back the lead for the first time. They've trailed by as many as 16 points. Victoria Vivians had 4 of her 6 assists in the third quarter. Kelsey Mitchell had 9 points, and they completely erased a nearly 20-point deficit as Nafisa Collier will start out the fourth quarter with some free throws.
Indiana just showing how good they can be on both ends of the court, really. Here they pick up the foul, Cannon does, but they've done a nice job of picking up some stops, turning Minnesota over in the third quarter, but offensively, they've just been hot.
12 for 17 as a team. Just one of those from long range, but a 71% shooting quarter. That's how it evaporated. McCowan with the rebound, and we'll see if Indiana will be able to compete back and forth with the Lynx. Vivians goes up and under. Similar move to Nafisa Collier, who was guarding her, but too strong off the backboard. Here is McBride, taken by Kelsey Mitchell, but a whistle.
Yeah, Kelsey Mitchell picks up another foul there. I believe that's her third, and Kelsey Mitchell has been the player that has really done a good job of keeping them alive, hitting big shots with momentum.
That indeed is her third as Kayla McBride steps to the line. She had a 1-for-4 performance on Friday, which for her is unheard of, dropping her to 91%.
It's impressive. And I know it's something that you respect quite a bit, Sloan, knowing the work that was put in when someone shoots that well from the line.
It's exactly right. And to be honest, it boggles my mind that you go 1-for-4 and you fall
right
to 91%.
That's how good you are.
Third in the WNBA in free throw percentage. Lots of good shooters here, including Kelsey Mitchell. My goodness, she has been hot. 4 for 5 from beyond the arc. She's got 22.
Yeah, someone put a hand in her face.
Quite a response from her 11-point performance. She was 1 for 9 from three-point range on Friday. Crystal Dangerfield will kick it out to Ariel Powers, who did not score in the third quarter as almost the shot clock expires. Another whistle for the Lynx.
Yeah, Powers understands that shot clock is going down. She just kind of throws up something in hopes of getting the ball. She got it.
Free throws very even. Minnesota 11 for 12. Or excuse me, not even. I was looking at actually three-point percentage. Minnesota 11 for 12 from the foul line. Indiana 4 for 4. And again, they entered this game third in the WNBA in free throw attempts per game at over 17. Minnesota dominating that category. Powers, a near 90% shooter, will knock down both. Tie game again. And Indiana is going to call a timeout just a minute and a half into this fourth quarter. Some things to look over for the Indiana Fever. It is a tie game here at Target Center. Might go down to the wire in this one, unlike Friday. We have a ball game at Target Center. Minnesota led by double figures as early as the first quarter by as many as 16. It is tied now in the fourth as Tiffany Mitchell will turn it over. Nafisa Collier, the Euro, and she will finish on the fast break.
Nice looking offense there by Nafisa Collier, and exactly what you don't want to happen after you call a timeout and you come back in and turn it over for Indiana.
Indiana this season is 6-22. These close late game opportunities have been infrequent, but Tierra McCowan carrying over that energy, confidence from the third quarter.
Again, Victoria Vivians does a nice job at getting that ball inside.
She's got 7 assists to go along with her 8 points, 2 3-pointers today. As Powers hops into the paint, takes a shot, and still finishes. Lynx switch on that hard screen by Cannon. And Kelsey Mitchell running the offense with Collier on her. She goes right-handed, will kick it out. Tiffany Mitchell draining the three. Her first today.
Yeah, she was left alone outside there. Everyone kind of assuming she wasn't going to hit that.
Mitchell up to 10 points, 4 for 6 overall. Collier. That will be a turnover for Minnesota. No fast break opportunity for the Fever, but they do regain control. Collier had the slip there, but Powers not able to get it to her on that possession.
Yeah.
Taken away by Sil. We love to see a Sylvia Fowles fast break.
What a great job by Sylvia Fowles. She reads that play perfectly, gets the steal. Those are big points for Minnesota.
Stayed in denial near the half-court line. Still not quite coast to coast like I dream of seeing, but still a great play by Sylvia Fowles and Kelsey Mitchell trying to quickly quiet this crowd.
Well, it worked, and Kelsey Mitchell has been carrying her team this entire game. Her shot has been outstanding, and she's hit momentum shots.
25 points, 5 for 6 from 3. Sylvia Fowles going to work the left hand, not there. Skying in for the rebound is Powers. No look pass, and it is Dangerfield. Big 3 for Crystal Dangerfield.
Yeah, 3 opportunities there for Minnesota on the offensive end, and it's Crystal Dangerfield who hits the big shot.
7 assists for Nafisa Collier to go with her 18 points. It's back and forth here in the final regular season home game for the Lynx. Screen from Cannon behind the back pass from Kelsey Mitchell. Won't lead to an assist, but McCowan will get the O board.
And those second chance points becoming very important for Indiana. They have 5 of them now.
McCowan 7 for 7 and a turnover. Means it's Indiana basketball. Vivians, that just rims out. That could have been very dangerous for Minnesota. Minnesota lacking a little bit of the polish that we saw in the first half, so a timeout called about midway through the fourth quarter. A 1-point deficit for the Minnesota Lynx, once leading by 16 in this game, and you see Sylvia Fowles trying to save the day with offense and defense. We decided she is taking over this game. 25 points, 5 for 6 from 3, and Minnesota needs to find an answer.
Yeah, they're looking for someone to do that on their team as well. They have 3 players in double figures, all shooting well. Collier, Fowles, Powers could all do it, but someone needs to take this game over in the last 5.
McBride trying to make a case to be that person. She's up to 12, 4 in double figures.
She would be the perfect person, dangerous from inside and out.
2 for 3 from beyond the arc. Minnesota 5 for 13 as a team, but Indiana has been lights out. 8 for 14 from beyond the arc. Deep post for McCowan and an easy 2. Still was not happy with that.
No, and the passing from Indiana really good in the second half. They're getting the ball exactly where McCowan needs to receive it.
8 for 8 is McCowan. And a little bit of a late whistle, but free throws for Napheesa Collier.
Yep, and McCowan got caught moving on that one. Feet are moving as she's trying to slow down Napheesa Collier.
Well, that's number 3 on McCowan. Kelsey Mitchell has 4. Minnesota has shot 10 more free throws than the Indiana Fever, a team that makes its living from there. Collier up to 19 points. Powers with 17, fouls 16, and McBride with 12. Tiffany Mitchell with Dangerfield on her. Here comes the Lavender going through. Hard play by Tiffany Mitchell, does not go. Sprinting ahead is Dangerfield. She pauses and will finish on the fast break.
Doing something that she has traditionally felt comfortable with, scoring in the fourth quarter.
Oh, we know that very, very well. As Kelsey Mitchell too strong, McCowan dominating the boards, but it will stay here.
McBride feels confident right now, playing physical and strong inside.
You can see the intensity, especially defensively. But McCowan, by the way, that was her first miss of today. Into Lavender. Now McCowan, 10 on the shot clock for the Fever, who once trailed by 16. Kelsey Mitchell leaves it short. From fouls, Carlton will pull up that short as well. Three minutes to go. Crossover by Kelsey Mitchell. She was pushed from behind by Carlton.
Carlton shocked by that one.
So it's Indiana ball. Here's another look at that. Oh, I guess she did get tripped up. It did look like there was some kind of a push or contact, but I'm glad we were able to get another look at that. Vivian's very tight defense by McBride, sneaking around a McCowan screen, thwarting that opportunity. 5 seconds left for Vivian's. And an offensive foul, McBride taking the hit.
Again, McBride feeling herself, letting McCowans know it. Yeah, physical game here right to the end.
The Fever have lost 3 in a row. It was competitive in the first half on Friday, flipping the script on this one. They came roaring back in the third quarter, 8 for 8 from the field as a team. Here's McBride again off back iron, fouled on the rebound.
Well, there's been a lot of talk with the Fever and the Lynx going up against each other 3 in a row. Is it really that hard to beat a team 3 times in a row? Is that a myth? But everyone has agreed that it is difficult to do. And Coach Reeve talked about it on Friday after practice, that the adjustments and that just kind of the emotion of playing the team back to back to back.
That's good for fouls. She's up to 17. 6 rebounds as well.
One shot.
And a more comfortable cushion for the Lynx. This would make it a 6-point game. Still just 2 possessions for the Indiana Fever with 2:30 to go.
And a good defensive stop without fouling here.
Lindsay Allen will swing it to Vivians. She will attack, shooting and finishing over 3 Lynx players.
Vivians continues to look strong on the court tonight. 10 points, 7 assists.
She's been a steady presence with Jessica Breland out of this game. And that foul is going to go against Minnesota. That's going to be on fouls, her second. Indiana is going to call a timeout with 2:07 to go. Just a 4-point game. And it's something I think, Leo, we have to talk about when you're an Indiana team. When you're not finding yourself in these kind of close game situations a whole lot this season. What do you think the coaching staff might be saying?
It's just going with the confidence that they have in this game. They have shot the ball so well in this one. So just staying within yourselves, going to the players that brought you here. I just think that Kelsey Mitchell has been that player for them, so getting the ball to her. Also to McCowan, they have done an absolutely fantastic job of just delivering the ball to her exactly where she needs it to be successful.
She's blocked on this camera, but I'm watching Jantel Lavender talking to the players who are in the game and clapping, and she's someone who's won a championship. So it puts the Lynx in challenging situation. It still is this 4-point lead, but it still is quite the battle. Yeah, lots of time as well.
Lots of time on the clock with 2:07 left. And the Lynx have a 4-point lead, and knowing how well Indiana has shot from the 3-point line, 53.3% tonight, so that can go away real quick.
I think that Coach Reeve was very prescient in saying that she was concerned with the looks that Indiana got on Friday, that they didn't fall, that a player like Kelsey Mitchell was 1 for 9, but she did not like those looks.
Exactly.
And today they're falling.
They're falling exactly as she anticipated.
Indiana basketball, a little over 2 minutes to go. Minnesota making the playoffs, but trying to climb their way up, wanting every win down the stretch, including this one. Lindsay Allen. Tiffany Mitchell going up against McBride. 5 seconds left for Allen. Now Tiffany Mitchell too. She's got to get rid of it, and I don't even think she did in time. And another situation for Indiana after a timeout where things don't go as planned.
Yeah, and that is really, really frustrating for this team that has played so well in this one.
Now Minnesota has an opportunity. McBride too strong as she was wide open. Big rebound by Nafisa Collier. And they can eat up some time here, but still 8 on the shot clock. Hesitation by Dangerfield. That's that confident fourth quarter player we know.
It's so good to see her hitting big shots in this game. She needs that confidence. She has been really good.
Vivians misfires. Rebound to Sylvia Fowles. 1 minute to go and a 6-point Minnesota lead. The crowd on their feet here at Target Center. Not the last time they'll be here, but at least in the regular season. As Dangerfield is tied up and fouled by McCowan. What is the strategy for the Minnesota defense, knowing that it's still a 2-possession game? There's a possibility of getting a quick 3 off.
Yeah, I like playing tough D, straight up, being cognizant that you don't need to foul. Hand in the face, looking for the 3-point shooters. It's paying special attention to Kelsey Mitchell.
Big free throws for Crystal Dangerfield to try and put this one out of reach. We saw her do this so many times in the 2020 her Rookie of the Year season. And she just steps up, knocks them down.
Yeah, that's important for Crystal Dangerfield to feel that confidence right now at this point in the season. It's important for her teammates to see her do that as well.
That was a short timeout for the Indiana Fever, so the Lynx regrouping here, but a confident cushion at this point.
I think so too. I think you just play it smart from here on out, no fouls, and they should be able to wrap this one up. 47.8 seconds left on that clock.
It still is so great to see such a great crowd, a lively crowd, one of the toughest places to play in the WNBA, Leah. We hear that from the free agents who just signed, and Aerial Power. She said that to us post-game on Friday. They're close to the court. They are back, and they're possibly going to be seeing a second straight win for the Minnesota Lynx. Vivian's the inbounder. She's absolutely someone to watch. 2 for 5 today. She gets it right back. That's a pretty clean look. And brought down by Sylvia Fowles.
Just what Sylvia Fowles was supposed to do. Get that board, tie it up.
You could see her outstretched over everyone to get that rebound.
Yeah, she was going to get that rebound, trust me. That was no one was taking that from her.
And it's Fowles and Tiffany Mitchell with the jump ball. And Minnesota's got it. An 8-point lead approaching 30 seconds left, and Fisa Collier is fouled. Both teams in the bonus, so free throws here for Fee, who is 5 for 6. And I think a very solid game for Fee as well, with 20 points, 7 assists, 6 rebounds compared to Friday.
Yeah, Nafisa Collier did the thing that she does. She kind of got those points quietly in this one, but just consistently when you look back at what she did in this game, she was very good. I love the 7 assists for her, the 6 rebounds.
It's a 10-point lead for Minnesota. That won't fall either. Fouls will let that go out of bounds. But this game was tied at the 4:20 mark. Good late stretch for the Minnesota Lynx. Eight-second difference between the shot and game clock. Vivian's trying to get free from Collier, a fantastic shot blocker, and there she does it. And Aerial Powers will jog this one up. They survived a battle from the Indiana Fever, who hustled. We saw Kelsey Mitchell at one point take over this game, but the Minnesota Lynx come out on top. They get their second win in a row, 90-80.
And as we anticipated, it wasn't going to be an easy game. We knew that Indiana was going to come out with only 8 players and play hard, play aggressive, and play physical. That's exactly what we saw from the Fever here at Target Center.
It was well balanced, especially for the starters, who scored anywhere from 12 for Kayla McBride to 22 for Nafisa Collier. Actually, Crystal Dangerfield putting in 11 as well. I feel like we saw different contributors throughout tonight, which is positive going into the playoffs.
Yeah, and I think that is going to be a key for Minnesota, getting different players involved. It's not always going to be Sylvia Fowles and Nafisa Collier having a big game, but tonight they both look great.
The win tradition, it feels so good. Even knowing this team will be back, this team trying to hold on to that top 4 seed, and just to reiterate how important these wins are down the stretch. They are chasing even possibly a number 2 seed, depending on what Las Vegas does. They own the tiebreaker. They enter today a half game out of 3rd place, Seattle. 2 games back of Las Vegas. It is very much within the realm of possibility to get that extremely coveted top 2 seed.
It's crazy to think about, Sloan, if we think about the way Minnesota started this season off, that they have put themselves in such a great position to possibly move to that space. Every single game matters.
They do have Phoenix trailing closely behind them. They are a half game back, but The Minnesota Lynx own the tiebreaker there as well, so those regular season wins really coming back to benefit them. And we are soon going to invite over Sylvia Fowles. Sylvia. Hi, Sil. Do you have us? Congratulations on this win.
Thank you.
A huge win for you tonight. What did it feel like on the court to see this team withstand that third quarter from Indiana? What were you seeing?
Just a lot of talking, a lot of momentum, trying to get ourselves back into it. I felt like we was a little flat, so the more we talked to each other, the better it was for us just to get back in the groove.
Sylvia, we love watching the battle when there's another big on the court like McCowan's, and we love what it brings out in you, always the best. But what is it like going up against her? And she did cause some issues in there tonight.
She's a big body, man, all around. So you really have to play on both ends of the floor, but you also want to make her work on both ends of the floor. So I think I had an advantage tonight. She made her breaks, and she got me on some good ones, but I withstand it throughout the game, and we came out with the win.
Still, Coach Reeve talked about before the game that sometimes when you're expected to win, it can take the joy out of it, like USA basketball, for example.
Yeah.
Is that something you try and put a focus on in the locker room, like celebrating what you've done against another WNBA team?
Yes, Cheryl brings this up all the time, just making sure we celebrate the little moments and making sure everybody is involved, not taking the credit for everything, but making sure everybody understand their role, but just going out there and play with a lot of fun on our shoulders.
Still, it's talked about probably too much, but winning 3 in a row against the same team. Ooh. Everyone says that it's difficult.
It's difficult.
What is the mindset going up against Indiana, and this time on their home court?
Indiana brought it tonight here, so we got to expect changes because it was a big change from game 1 to game 2, and I'm sure it's going to be more changes from game 2 to game 3. So we got to make sure we bring our A game and not take Indiana for granted because, as you can see, they're a team that stays around and they work hard as well.
All right, Sylvia Fowles, thank you so much for joining us. Congrats again.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sil.
Sylvia Fowles, just magnificent to watch. She and the Minnesota Lynx take the victory tonight, 90-80, the final. We're going to take one more break, and then Leah and I will wrap things up here from Target Center, Minnesota. 2 wins in a row.